So welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom and I'm back on the test server taking a look at some of these new Swedish tanks and looking at some of the lower tier variants at the moment. So this wonderful box tank, yeah, it's the IKV 65-2. I'm just going to call it the box. The shoebox. Yeah, let's call it the shoebox. It's a weird looking thing. It does really remind me of the American armored personnel carrier that you see in all those Vietnam films, despite the radio antenna. Yeah, I know it's smoke canisters on the top, smoke distributors. So this is the Tier 6 Swedish TD. It looks an interesting vehicle. So you get to it. Whoops, let's just shut that up for a minute. Let's get to it through the tree. So you can see the tree here. You head through, well, a variety of some good, some not so good TDs until you get up to this fella here at Tier 6, and then it goes on to the extremely good IKV 90B, the UDES 03, the 103 0, and the Stratwagen 103B, which is the Tier 10. So we're looking at the moment at this fella, the box, the shoebox. So what's it got in its favour? Well, it comes with, well, there are two different guns it carries, both 90mm, which is pretty good. Both as 90mm L43 is its starting gun, has a pretty reasonable penetration of 155 for a starting gun, and with its heat round 230mm of penetration, 240 average damage, and a rate of fire of 6.59, which is not that bad. Or the top tier gun, which you can unlock, is also a Bofors, this time the L53, which has a whopping 180mm of standard penetration, 230 with the heat shell and 45 with the HE. Again, 240 average damage, 320 with the HE, sorry. 6.19 rounds per minute, so pretty useful gun. Go and have a look up here. So yeah, pretty useful gun. Reload time of 8.4, but that's with a gun rammer and 100% crew. Gun traverse is 25.3, which is pretty slow, but it's a turretless TD, so what do you expect? Gun depression is an excellent -10, really good, -10. Not so good elevation, so only 12 degrees, so if you need to fire upwards you're going to struggle. It also has a 15-degree arc, which is basically those side panels. Looks like sort of demented hedgehog, doesn't it? So this sort of section here is as far as it will fire, but the aim time is excellent, 1.82, which okay, again with 100% crew, bearing in mind these stats are varied by the crew you're using, so 1.82 is very good. Dispersion is only 0.33 as well, and there's an average damage of 1,700, which is pretty good. In terms of survivability, well, in common with all the Swedish tanks, this thing has very limited armour. I mean, look at that, 15mm of frontal armour. You might as well not bother. 10 at the side and 10 at the rear, and it's flat. So you might conceivably get a bounce off this upper plate, possibly off the gun mantle, but really, even with the new changes to the mechanics, to the ricochet rules, this thing isn't going to bounce anything really, and it's only got 580 hit points. So you got to rely on its mobility, which is fortunate because it's extremely mobile for a turretless TD. Only weighs 11 tons, has an engine of 215, which is pretty small, but given that it only weighs 12 tons means that it can shift. So it's 18.9 specific power ratio, which is not outstanding, so it's probably a little bit slow to get going. but it does have a top speed of 60 kph and 20 in reverse, which is very good. And even traverse speed of the hull is 33.38, which is sort of fast heavy kind of category, which isn't, again, not bad for a TD. It's very, very stealthy, which is its huge advantage, so you got to use that stealth. It's 30% chance of being spotted when stationary and 20 when moving, so that's pretty good. I've put a camo net and binos basically to utilize that really good concealment. Spotting range 330, which is, yeah, I suppose about average for a tier 6 tank, and signal range nobody cares, but it's 615. So there you go. This is a fairly quick moving, very stealthy, very good gun TD. It's basically what you get at tier 6. But enough of what I'm saying, let's go and have a look at it in game if we can get some games. It's not always easy on the test server to get games in the lower tiers, and when you do, it tends to people trying out all the new tanks, so we'll see what we can get. Okay, so it took some time. It's a problem trying to play lower tier tanks on the test server. Nobody's playing them, they're all playing the higher tier tanks, so we've got a short-handed game here, and it's a tier 8 game, so it couldn't have been an awful lot worse for us. But we're going to do what we can do, see what we can do. The gun on this is good enough, so I'm going to head out towards the right. Use the speed that this thing's got. So you can see we got up to 40 very easily there. The old shoebox can shift when it needs to. I like it. I quite like the look of this. It's, well, not the look of it, so I don't think looking great. Oops. RELC's going crazy, which is always fun. It's WZ1. Oops. 111's obviously somebody's trying out the new armour. WZ111's got new look armour. No point having a shot aim at that angle. Oh, nice shot right under his low plate. I think we hit him at the same time as the other guy did, because that wasn't all down to us. Now Max is going in. Get some shots on that tiger over there. It's just disappeared just the moment I get in a position to have a go at him. Where's the Dicamax there? Reload isn't brilliant, but it's good enough. I like this gun. 90mm, very punchy indeed. Oh, Dicamax is over there, is he? Aim in quite quickly. Oh, look at that, 500. Whoa, I like this tank a lot. So no kills, but 1,165 damage. 63 damage even. Really nice. Got some punch, that's for sure. Second class big dick and 5 for effect. 1163 damage, 574 base XP. Nothing outstanding. 6 shots, 5 hits for that. 1163 damage. We took 2 hits. 1 bounce, 1 didn't. Who managed to bounce us? Oh, the tiger. Blimey. Wow. My base blocks anything. 22,000 credits after costs, 18,000. 1,722 with the times 2. So, quite impressed with this little thing. Quite useful. We'll see what we can do and have another game. If we can get another game, of course. Okay, so this is rather tricky to get a decent game where I can actually show this tank off, because I've just played a game and it was a city map and 2 of the enemy top tier tanks were AFK. So I did a lot of damage, but that was mainly because I was shooting at AFK tanks and the enemy team folded really quickly. But such is the nature of the test server, I'm afraid. So let's see what we can do on this game. It's another tier 8. You kind of expect that, unfortunately. You're going to be bottom tier. Because everyone's trying out the higher tier tanks. Because why wouldn't you? Everything's lemming this way, which is also good. I normally go to the right, to the left on this map when I'm in this spawn, but I just thought it's not great when you're in lightly armed TD. Lightly armoured, not lightly armed. The gun on this thing is actually very good. Stop moving. Let's see what we can do. See if we can get this. That was a shame. I just couldn't get my orientation right there. What's the Glenarvan? Bounced off the Emil? You've got to be kidding me. I have a hell of a job penning that thing. Pen the Emil there. Just because you got the gun depression doesn't mean you're immune to being hit, matey. Bounced him that time. Maybe I've been seen and spotted. No sixth sense. So tough induction. You know when you've been seen because you get hit. I'm trying to use this great gun depression. Him. That CDC still out there? There is somewhere. Move around a bit. Shot dropped. That's a shame. I thought I had a perfect bead on that thing. Shell just dropped out the floor, out the sky. Out the floor? So kind of, yeah. Move up a bit. Try and use a bit more of this gun. out. Bollocks. I had heat loaded, didn't I? Silly sod. Why did I shoot into his track when I had heat loaded? That's not going to do anything to him at all. Should just put it straight through his load plate, which was available for me to shoot at. What a noob. Anyway, you saw a bit more of the gun depression is pretty good on this thing. Not this thing, the one I was driving. The gun is actually pretty good. Not awesome, but pretty good. The reload's a little bit slow, but it is just a tier 6 gun, so 180mm on a tier 6 with a faster reload would be absolutely devastating. So this oh, that was a hell of a shot. Oh, there's a ball sig. Okay, I'll explain it. Look at this Emil. It's an impressive looking beastie, that's for sure. Goes one of our Emils. And this Udays 2 is really tricky to take down. Not when you got his side on though. He's down. CDC is just running. They're pretty ungainly, ugly looking tanks, these Swedish tanks in my book. I don't know about you. Can I ram him? Good style points. Well done, mate. Well done. Yeah, well, there you go. So you got to a bit more of the tier 6 in operation. It's an okay tank. I think it's going to be better when you actually get a chance to fight in your own tier. But that's not going to happen at the moment with the matchmaking you're getting on the test server. Because everyone's in high tier tanks. So what do we get? We got second class, we got sharpshooter, we got spotter, 464 damage, 5/8, 5 base XP, 7 shots fired, 5 hits, 2 penetrations. Took 3 hits, they all penned us. Well, that's the prize, but we did 1100 assistance damage. So equip them with binos, and that's quite useful because the spotting range on this thing is not outstanding. 330 is not brilliant. But we managed to spot quite well there. So anyway, okay, so this is a tier 6 game at least. I have to say it's been really tricky to find or to get a game where I can really show this tank off. It's a test server, so very few people are playing lower tier tanks. They're all playing the tier 8s and above, which means I've had an awful lot of tier 8 games which kind of don't really show how this tank will perform, because you may do a bit of damage, but I've got no sixth sense. I've got no way of knowing when they're firing at me until I get hit by a shell, and these things have very little very small health pool, so you can't take too many hits, and it's supposed to be a stealthy TD. So yeah, it makes it rather problematic, shall we say. So anyway, no excuses. This is the game. This is what you have to deal with. We've got a reasonable match up here by the look of it. Well, on my park, it's obviously a tier 6 game, which is nice. And I've just come up to a fairly static early position just to try and spot some stuff that's coming down this flank. Looks like a VK3001P is coming this way. At the moment we're not seeing anything. Oh blimey, oh for goodness sake, this is the problem. You can't really do anything like you would normally do on the test server, because you can see there our OI went balls deep straight into the to be fair, he's actually doing a pretty good job out there. No aim on them. Can't get either of those fellas. Right, I'm going to move forward. We can get an overlap on those guys, and we got a chance. I really just want to see how this tank works, but the problem is after half the time you can't actually get to play the game properly. Someone take him out would be great, thank you. Oh. The engine to repair that. Well, that was alright, we saw a bit of the mobility of the thing. Where did that Steve 76 go? 74 go? Shit. Missed it. Ah, I couldn't get the shot off. Oh dear. Anyway, bit better game. You see a little bit more of the thing in action. It's got a surprisingly good gun. Surprisingly good gun. So as we expected, it was defeat, 5 for effect, 735 damage, 276 base XP. Didn't he kill us in the end? Was it the AMX that killed me? Dimar. Yeah, it was. I was team killed. Okay. Good. Okay. Well, of course I was right up close to an artillery, so why wouldn't our artillery take the shots? Fair enough. I've had 6 shots, hit with 3 of them, penned with those 3, 735 damage, 3 hits received, all 3 killed us, 17,500 credits, 11,000 after rebuild costs, 414 base, 414 XP. So I think it's really tough to judge this thing. I think my gut feel with this tank is it's actually going to be really useful when you can, when there's a bigger map and when you can set up and you've got a decent, not decent team, this is World of Tanks, but you've got a team of similarly composed vehicles that are out there spotting for you, helping you out, and you can actually play a proper support role. The trouble is, in the test server it's very difficult to get a decent game, and when you do, you're either bottom tier or it's like that last one where you're short-handed in terms of tanks, so there's less of them available. So 6-8 aside just makes it really hard to play a proper TD role unless you've got armour, which this thing certainly doesn't. So interesting vehicle. I look forward to playing it for real on the test server. Not sure it'll be a keeper, but you never know. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a like and subscribe. It's free, it's easy, makes me feel happy, and who wouldn't want a happy Dom? In the meantime, have fun, enjoy your games. Let me know what you think about the Swedish tanks. They're there for everyone to try out. We'll see what the verdict is when they hit the real server. But there's some interesting vehicles there, that's for sure. So anyway, look after yourselves, enjoy your games, try not to take them too seriously, and I'll see you again soon. Gamer Dom out.